Good morning, traders. Hope you guys can hear me and hope you can see my screen. Somebody give me a yes, please. Hey, Victor, good morning. Yeah, we're ready to go in a few seconds. Let's get everybody in. Thank you. If you write your name in Arabic, I wouldn't be able to read it. So if you can change that in English, then that would be great so I can actually know who you are. Hi, Bafik. I think I know that name very well. I can see Ranjana. That's a new name to me. By the way, do we have any new traders in? Okay, somebody put Peter there. I can see Peter as well. So these are trade setups that I already have if you're interested in them. We have this trade because I'm expecting this to come back to the top here. Remember we spoke about this. We wanted to go break the low and then turn. We'll be looking for the buy setup. So if you're here from Monday, this is what we're doing. We pretty much did not sell that. We wanted to go break the low, turn, and then we're looking for the buy setup. So I have a buy setup. I'm in this trade and I'm in this trade, these two trades. I'm also in the Euro New Zealand, not this one, sorry, Euro New Zealand. I'm in the Euro New Zealand sell. You can see these two trades, Euro New Zealand sell. And I'm in the pounds, the Aussie Swiss buy. Okay, Babik. Hey, John. John from our group as well. So I'm seeing a lot of my group people in. Let's see. I can't see the list of people, so if I don't, only the people who said something in the chat I can see. Because I don't get to see the list. I have no idea why. The streaming thing the streaming platform I'm using does not show. Maybe it's somewhere there. I haven't really checked to see where I have to look for it. If I open participants, I still don't see it. I only see the people who actually make chat, who actually said something in the chat. You're following me since last December. I've learned a lot. Okay, you should join us then in the group. You can start with the installment trading. I think you can make more than $100 a month, literally. That is not hard to do. If you follow me this week and you have an account, you probably would have made money already. So I don't think that's a difficult one. I think that's the easy part of it. And then you get to be with us. You get to get these live sessions every day, right? So good morning to all the traders out there. Vic, give me a heads up when you're ready to start. We'll go ahead. We're already in trades, so we're ready to start. So just give me a heads up when you think we can enough traders in the room for us to go ahead and start. So what we're looking at is the Euro New Zealand. I'm in the sell already. This is the trade setup. And I'm in the Aussie Swiss buy. We told you the Euro New Zealand, I think I showed you that setup also in the higher time frame why we're looking for the sell. Because at some point this thing has to come down, right? We're looking at this as a possible running flat and this is a correction. So at some point it starts coming down really fast. Now it might go very slow. Okay, big thank you. Yeah, good morning to all the traders out there and good morning to the YouTube crowd. So and all the traders who are joining us. I mean, a lot of hundreds of traders are joining us from the group in the Middle East. We hope you can share. If you're in any other group of traders in your country, you can share it, link with them, and let them come. Right? Feel free to invite them because we have got a group from the Middle East that invited me to join them from Discord, and they're sharing the link in the group, and there are hundreds of traders. I think about 800 plus traders in there, and it's growing. Right, it's an open group for Middle East traders, and since I'm living in the Middle East, I think I'm invited. Right, so yes, join us, share the link with your friends, share the link. They just come and watch, and if they missed it, they can watch the videos they missed already. They're all on YouTube. By the way, you guys don't be shy to leave your comments there. If you like, I know you're commenting in here, but when we close this, a lot of traders don't see this comment. They see it when they watch a video, but it's good if you can leave a comment in the video itself, click a like, so that those videos will get popular because they're not showing up on YouTube that much. So we'd like you to support that. Okay, we have everybody in. Two trades, we're in active trades already. Euro New Zealand, we're in this one. We're in a sell under 15 minutes. I showed you that trade. We'll manage the trade. We'll show you how we manage the trade if it doesn't go. I think it's going to go. Any trade from the top, from the very top here, I would take. Win, loss, or break even, it doesn't matter. I'll take those trades because if they do go to like this one, right? If I think some of my traders managed to take this, I didn't take that. But if you take that trade, I mean, the worst case is you got break even. That's like your worst nightmare there. So the worst thing we'll work for is this might become a break even trade if it goes back up. Now, if it goes to where you want, then you get the trade, right? That's the whole thing. So these are the two trades. Once again, good morning to those of you who just joined. Traders are joining all the time. Let me give you a quick update because I've got a lot of messages asking about the installment program. If I can talk more about it, if you guys allow me, I already showed you the two trades I'm in. We're going to take 2 seconds, tell you about the installment program. There you go. So what is the installment program? We actually have a group of traders in Workplace. Let me see if I can bring it up because a lot of traders are asking me what is the group, right? What is your elite group? What is the Spets group? People are asking. Do you guys see the screen? I think you do, right? With all these messages here. So you can now see this screen. Yep. So this is our group. We're on Workplace. It's a paid service. It's $4 a month for every trader. Every trader is paying it for themselves. And as you can see at the side here, we have recording, special recording, daily recording. If you click on the daily recording, these are all the trades. Well, you wouldn't see a lot now because I'm doing them live on YouTube, but these are all the trades we do for the day. And then you will see a trading room, general, and then you have a lot of them at the side here, which usually like watch lists. Watch lists are trades we are in. Every time we do a session, we record it for the trades we are looking at. And these are short recordings with the trades we actually have. So if you miss anything live, we do all of this live. But if you miss anything live, you literally get it. You get it because we record it, right? All these were live sessions recorded. And sometimes you get 5 or 6 of this a day. They're very short. They're not long. They're only the trade setups we're looking at. So like I took those 2 trades. Those are recorded. Every time we come in the room and we look at those trades, we record it. And the class recordings are there. You can go and watch them anytime. That is the course, the course we do. And then you can have places where you can post your charts, to practice charts and a 4-hour charts. And so anything you want, we can create a group. We even have groups that are called testing groups, where we are actually, you would see this active trading test group. This is right now we're testing something. So we select traders voluntarily take part in that testing. We test new strategies. We test out different things. We tweak the strategies we already have. Right? All of this is a non-stop continuous learning process. Right? This group and everything, all of this is for free. Once you're a member, once you already took the course, everything here is free. Absolutely free. So you get added to this group. The only thing, once a year you'll be paying $50. I can make you $50 today if you have a $1,000 account. So I don't think that's a problem. We have never seen that to be a problem. Some traders are a nuisance, but in general it's not a problem. All the traders in the group. And everybody you see in this group, every single, if you go to general, every single person you see here, this is 180 members. These are all active traders. The group itself has 500 traders. If you go to, I think you can go here, and you can go to people, 580 people. So in general, all the people who have joined my group since we moved here, in total is about 580 who were with us here. Now some traders leave for different purposes. Some people just wanted the course and they're not going to be trading actively. Some people are not active traders. These are active traders. The 180 you saw there are actually active traders trading right now. We know because they're paying. Those are the people who paid to be in Workplace. The rest of the traders are on and off. Whenever they're ready, they come back. If you have lifetime access, you can leave, you can come back. You're not an active trader, so you don't participate. Some of the traders will take a month or 2 break. Some people will take a year break, come back. Right? So these are actually traders who are trading right now. Right? And that is mass. That's more than how much? 200 out of 500. That's more than 30%. You don't get that in any group you created where 30% of the people are active. Mostly 10% of any group are active traders or active people in any group. It doesn't matter what the group is about. So you get added to that group. Right? That's what the group is. People keep asking me, what is your group about? What is your group about? Well, that is what our group is about. You get onto that group. Now, here's the thing. If you still, what we are doing now is we're creating a second part of the group. Like we have installment traders who are not in that group, but they get access to these 2 live sessions that I'm doing in London and in New York, and they get the recording that we record in the Asian session of everything. We record the whole line of what we see in it, and then we send that recording to them. You get all of that for free. You just have to tell us that you're willing to join us. You were willing to pay for the group. Now, people who are paying an installment, minimum is $100 a month, but people pay $200, $500, depends on how fast you want to get into the group. One guy paid $100, and then pay out the rest of it, and he's in the group. Right? So you can pay it however you want. But what we're going to do for you as a special is we're going to give you, if you show us that you're willing to join us and you want to learn to trade, and you want to make this your career, you want to actually learn this whole stuff, you pay us for 1 month, and we will give you 2 months to make that decision. So you pay for 1 month, we'll give you an extra month free. You don't have to pay the second month if you don't want to. You will still have access to the live recording. Some traders will pay. Most of you will pay. I know you'll pay because you want to pay faster to get back in the group, but you don't have to if you still need that time to make the decision whether you want to continue. So we'll give you 2 months to make that decision. Pay for 1 month and you'll get 2 months to make that decision. You want to be with us? You want to learn this stuff? Or you don't think it's important? You're getting 1 week right now to make that decision. And if you have to use the 1 week we have now to make that decision, you're probably with us. If you're looking at this single trade here now to make that decision, you're with us. Right? This single trade should tell you, hey, I can see, I don't know how this guy knows this thing is going to go down from here. Right? It's like close to magic. So you should make that decision by yourself. If you weren't here the whole week, go and watch all the recordings for this week, so you can make your decision whether you want to be active with us. Now, it's amazing. This in YouTube is not as amazing as when we do it live, because then we get to interact with all the traders and we get to, they get to ask questions non-stop. I always start all the sessions with, tell me what trades you're in, let's look at it. That's how I start all my sessions. Every session, any of the traders in here will tell you, installment traders, everybody, let's look at the trades you're in. Then we look at trade setups, what setups you think we have. And then we will go and look at all the other charts to see where there is an active setup, and we'll mark them so we will know when we come back. See these markings? This is an active trade. Right? That's an active trade. The setup is there. This is an active trade. Not this. Yeah, this one, no. This one we have an entry, but it's not active. This is an active trade. This is an active sell. See? So they're all marked. Once you're in the trade, we mark it. Right? This is the trade setup. This is how it's marked. These are trades that we're waiting for setups. Right? I'm waiting for this to do something. This is a buy setup. This is a buy setup. This is a sell setup. I'm waiting for this to break here to decide if we want to sell this. You can see why I'm looking for a sell. So my traders will make that decision if they want to sell this. Now, it's short-lived. I would also discuss the patterns, where we think it's going to go, what type of trade you're looking for, what strategy we should use, and how we will manage those trades. All of that is stuff you get for free. See? Now, I want you to go, when we finish this, Google trading group, all of a trading group in the entire world, write all of them and ask them, hey, can you tell me what I get if I join your trading group? How many live sessions you have a day? Do I get to do a one-on-one with you if I join you? That's something I didn't even mention, but I do one-on-one with any of my traders who want it. I put special time for that. And if you are ever in trouble, if your account is more than 20% in drawdown, by rule, and this is a rule in our group, you should call me. Because now we're going to go and watch that group, that account. We're going to go through every trade, and we're going to go through every trade to figure out what we can do to straighten that back out. Now, in my group, if you're in my group, you don't necessarily have to call me. You call any of the senior traders. They're all open there to help you. But we use that as a rule. Don't allow your account to go into more than 20% drawdown. You have to call us. You have to let us know. So we start seeing what we can do, what trades we're going to cut, what we're going to keep, how we're going to manage the rest so you get out of that situation. That's a rule. That has always been the rule in the group. So if traders don't call me, and sometimes traders don't call me because they're shy, I always said, forget about the shyness. We had a whole week of time when I will sit here from morning to afternoon, we'll create a timetable, and I said, give me a time you want to do a one-on-one. So that's what we do, right? We do all the one-on-ones. Now you Google all those groups and write them and ask them if they give you anything. And come back and tell me this afternoon how many groups in the world offer you all of that. Now they will sell you some videos. They will sell you some signals. They will sell you some platinum courses. But would they do 5 times a day live trading with you where they have to answer for every trade set up and what they did with it? Every single day. 5-6 times a day. And the trading room is always open, which means you can use it on your own off the trading sessions when I'm not there, when the other traders are there. This morning, the traders were there. I was in there before we came in here, and that's when we took this trade. right? So this trade, the stop is here, the entry is here. Now, this point is still moving, so we'll wait until it gets to about this level, and then we'll move it into profit, and then we'll see how it's going. But at the moment, it's right now how much? This just started, right? That's only 17 pips. Most traders, 17 pips, that's a whole trade for them. That's a big trade. Oh my God, I made 17 pips today. See? They close the trade and they take the profit. But we are looking at generally the direction where it can go, how fast it can go, when it's going, and how we'll manage that trade. See? So let's go. Now that all of you know what we do and you know what the group is about, you'll make your decision. Let's move on. So those are the trades. I'm going to go through the trade setups we're looking at. Let's start with the dollar index. I'll do all the majors and then go. So dollar index yesterday, the trade was amazing for those of you who were with us. If you weren't here with us, go watch it yesterday afternoon. We trade the news, and we will trade the news this afternoon again at 4:30. So if you made money yesterday, you may want to join us today because there's a likely chance we're going to make money again today. I believe this is going to drop one more. It's consolidating. I don't think it's ready to go. I believe we're going to come back here, go back to the top, make a flat there, and this, if we get that flat by New York time, this is going to be a drop. This would be an amazing trade to go with, like this was an amazing trade to go with. Let's go. Silver. Silver actually went up, pull back, but you would have closed your trade. If you remember in the group, I said, guys, when it was here, when it started to pull back, I said, guys, make your decision. Now it's time you may. And we did it in the 5 minutes, right? Once this started to pull back here, I said, okay, you may have to make your decision to take profit. Now, my traders knows what that means. They know what they're looking for to exit that trade and take profit. You may want to know what the hell is he talking about taking profit, right? My traders would know how to look at the setup there and what they're looking for, and that means we're going to exit the trade, take profit. It came down back. If you're an aggressive trader, you probably would have sold it if you're very aggressive. If you're not that aggressive, you'll let it happen. So now what happens? Let's go to the 15 minutes. See that pull back there, and then it went right back to the top. So it dropped here and it go back. So this is going to come down slowly. It is going to go back up. It's going to come back here, and we're going to get a flat. It could be a regular flat or a running flat. And if all of this happens by New York session, you're going to get that trade up. So we're going to be looking for a buy setup in the New York session. Hope we get a flag somewhere here for that buy. Now, this is something you can also buy. If you know how to manage your trade in that, that is something you can buy. Selling this one might be difficult. It could be a single drop. So if we get this, if before New York session, the only thing we get is this thing coming down, and by New York session, we're at the bottom here, it is still a buy. But we have to get in and get out of that trade really quick, because it's going to come back really fast to the bottom, and then it's going to go. That will complete this flat. See? Magic, right? How do you know it's going to do this and then do that? I mean, what makes you think the market will ever do that? Well, let's go back and see what the market did in the past. It came down here, it went back, see it came down, it went back fast, then it came down back, it went back, and then it dropped again, and then it took off. And that move just keep going. So if it's going to repeat this afternoon, we would try to get the buy from the bottom. We try to get the buy from the bottom here going up. Let's see if it does that. Right now, there's no trade there. So this is a buy setup for my traders. If any one of you got very enthusiastic and very aggressive on that one, remember that we're in 1, 2, 3. It's going to come back here, complete this pattern, go back up, and then it's likely will come back all the way to the bottom here. So let me show you what I mean by changing. If you didn't understand what I just said here, go watch the first two videos I did for this week. So if you remember, when we started Monday, I told you there's a good chance this is going to come back down for a running flat, right? That's what we started with. That's why this arrow is there. The arrow was a little longer. It was like this. And we said we will get a running flat like this, and then they're going to go back up. It came down a little like this, and then it started to go back up. So the assumption is, well, that could still be the running flat. But then something else changed. You ever heard about the theory, the ever-changing pattern? That's something I started and I created, and I explain what it means. And if you don't know, watch the second video. The first video is me explaining wave analysis. About the second video is about the ever-changing theory. You would start to hear about that a lot in the internet now because it's out there, and I started it. Nobody even have a clue what that means, but you would hear it a lot now. What is the whole theory about the ever-changing pattern? It's simple. You would start with a simple pattern 1, 2, 3. And it will work. Most times it works. But then it becomes more complex. So instead of this being the running flat, which it could be, that could have been the running flat and this would take off and that we were buying it, if you remember, we're buying it. And then it started to consolidate here. and it's going to consolidate more here. So when that happens, and a few more things also happen, criteria that I'm looking for, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is not a running flat because we are making a flat here. See this flat there, 1, 2, 3? We thought this was going to be the running flat. This piece was going to go to the top there, come back here, make the running flat, and then go. This was still a buy. You notice I have an arrow here for a buy. That was a buy. But that did not complete the running flat. And I don't think this is completing the running flat. I believe we're going to get this now. This is going to be a flat of its own here. Finish this move. Come back here. You're going to get a flat like this here, most likely. You're going to go back up. You're going to come down here, complete the running flat, and then go. So every time we see a change in the structure, structurally, when we start to see this change, we're saying, okay, wait a second. The first forecast we made is not actually the pattern. The pattern is becoming more complex. And if it's becoming more complex, then what do we do? See? And this is where you know you actually understand wave analysis. Because it's not what you think it's going to do. The chart was not making any patterns to you. The chart is just making patterns because people are trading. The trading process that's happening is creating patterns. And then you look at these patterns and say, okay, have you seen this before? If you've seen it, what would it look like? And then most times it didn't go in your direction. The next immediate move is always correct most times, 90% of the time. But it might not complete the previous pattern you think it's completing. It makes an altogether different pattern. So it's like drawing. You start to look at somebody drawing. The first time they just started, you're like, I think I know what they're drawing. And then by the time they get to the middle, you're like, wait a second, that's not what they're drawing. They're on something else. And by the time they finish it, you're like, well, damn, I didn't even know that was what they were drawing. Right? Because by the time it finished, you see the complete pattern. Now, most traders are hindsight traders. They like to show you patterns in the past and tell you this is how it worked. I like to show you patterns in the future and tell you this is how it is going to work. And that's the difference between unknowing and just recognizing. You either know how it works or you just recognize how it works. Recognizing is showing you things in the past. Knowing is showing you things in the future. That's the vast difference between what you get here and what you get most times with most wave traders out there. So what we're going to show you now is how to recognize what it could do in the future. And we're looking at this and said, no, that doesn't necessarily has to go. It is a buy. It's a small buy here if you want, but there's a good chance it might come here, come back here, complete this one as a pattern, go back up, come back down, maybe something like this again. Those were sell setups if you saw them. Well, and then probably go back up and then even come back down to complete the bigger pattern. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves that I just forecast. 6 moves in the market ahead of time I just made a forecast of. And if you follow my analysis from way back, you would see that 6 out of those 6 moves sometimes work. 5 out of those 6 moves sometimes work. Go back and look at all the charts where I had all these arrows up and down, and you would see how they work. So would it make that specific pattern? Not necessarily. Again, remember, it's an ever-changing pattern. So if anything else in here happens that changes that structure, then we would relook at it and say, wait a second, it's actually this now, right? Based on what the new pieces we have, this is the most likely pattern we're going to get. But that does not stop you from trading. None of that actually stops the trading process, because the most immediate part will likely happen. The most immediate part of this one is this piece going up like that. The next piece that we think that will happen will be this piece coming here. Now, we would take that trade, and we would take that trade if we get what? Anybody tell me what we're waiting for to take that trade to the downside? Let me see if you guys are paying attention for the last week. Not necessarily my trade. My traders know what to say, so I'm not expecting an answer from any of my traders. I'm waiting for some other traders at what we need to get before we take the sell. I'll leave that. There's a lag in time, so I'm waiting on you guys to type that. While you're typing that, I'm going to continue, right? Yep, setup. If we get the setup, we call it if we get the confirmation. If we get the setup or the confirmation, we will take the trade. If something else happens, and I can give you very quick what else could happen. It goes there, it makes another flag. It goes there, it makes another flag. It goes there, it makes another flag. It goes there, it makes, and then it comes like this, and we're like, okay, good, we got the running flat. Right? It goes back up, come back down, you get a running flat here. You go back up, you come back down, and then you go. The same 6 move happened, except it happened differently. Right? The very same 6 move that I'm telling you we were expecting It only happened because the present pattern is not just a simple flat or a simple running flat, but what we call a long drawn out running flat. And that is a pattern that I identified some years back, because that pattern nobody ever identified at the long drawn out running flat. They were always looking for the simple running flat. And most traders will really confuse themselves with that as an impulse, and they'll put a lot of ABCs and WXYs in it and all kinds of stuff in it to say, oh, this is an impulse and this is that, and it's really confusing. It's just a long drawn out corrective structure. Right? So now we're going to go from there. Euro. We're looking for a buy setup. Remember, I told you Euro is going to go up yesterday. That was an amazing trade. This today should be an amazing trade. Now, be careful if this tags you before the news. It's a trade setup, you can take it, but be careful if it tags you before the news, because if it tags you before the news, you'd have to be careful. After the news, they can pull back. So we're looking at this and we're thinking we probably could get a running flat here and this could go. So that's a buy setup. See, that's an active trade already, which means we have an entry order in it. We will be very careful with it to see whether, if it tags and it looks like it's not going before the news, we'll close trade. Pound, we're waiting for the buy setup. Let's see. No, this is not the one we're buying, and I can tell you why we're not buying that. To see, we have some sharp waves at the bottom here. Actually, no, you can take that trade. We're waiting for this to come back and break the low. Right? So my traders, if it breaks the low, you can take the trade, but you're still aware that you have some sharp waves here. So when they go there, they can pull back and make some sharp waves here. When we were in this morning, we were at the top here. And the reason we didn't put the trade on, because this piece was consolidating here, which means it could have done this and then come back for this one and then go. But if it came down here and tagged the low, you can take the trade. So that's an active trade also that my traders should be in. Aussie, we're not taking the Aussie trade. We saw this, but we're not doing anything on this, because remember, you're inside of this. So you get this, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes there. It's likely going to pull back for a running flat here, and then it's going to go. So we saw that, but this is not a trade. Euro, on the other hand, is a better trade in that sense, right? Because Euro may or may not pull back. Euro could just continue to go. There's no reason. We don't have anything in the past that says Euro has to pull back for this. It could. You could always make this could always become a more complex structure, right? They just go back to the top there and then pull back and then pull back, and then this afternoon we totally take off. But it's a trade that you could take now if you want. It's a valid trade. You just have to know how to manage it. So Aussie, that is not a buy setup. Actually, we're not even selling it. You know, I have a line at the bottom here. We wanted to come back to this line, and then we'll be looking for a buy setup. Can we sell this coming down? Well, you'll need some skill levels for that. If you get the skill levels, you can try your luck. New Zealand, it's going up, and you notice I have a line here, right? So I thought they would break this before they go back up, but they're going back up strong. So we will see if we have a contracting flat somewhere in here, or if this will come back here and then go back up again, making a much bigger flat like this. Now, New Zealand and the big picture is downside. And the big picture, this is still going to go down, right? This is going down. You broke out of this structure, and we're going down. This is just making a big correction here. And that big correction will probably come here, maybe drop again to this level, go back up to the top there, give us a flat like this, and then drop. Right? So basically, that's what I'm expecting. A flat and then drop. Now, the flat still is incomplete. There's a lot of pieces to it. I wouldn't be trading it. Once it's inside of here, we're not trading it. Yen, it's a sell setup. It dropped yesterday. And if you were here Monday, remember I told you we are going to get this move down. Well, we are getting it now already. And you're getting it very nice because you have the impulse. You got a correction. You got the impulse. Remember, we were selling it from the top there. I closed the trade because it didn't drop immediately. So I can't remember which day that was, but remember we were selling this one, and then we sold that, and we closed it for break even because it didn't drop immediately. It actually went back, and when it went back, on the caution side, you get out of it. Now, it was a sell in the news, but we didn't sell this. We took the better trades in the news because this was still looking like a possibility that they could make a spike up first. They could have spiked up and then come down. As a matter of fact, they dropped from there, so good. Now you're getting this. It came to the top, so it's a good sell setup. Now, it's better if it breaks the top before they drop. That's more confirmation, because if it doesn't break the top and drop, what could happen is that it would come here, go back up, break the top, and then drop. So it's a trade setup. We can take the trade. If you're good at it, you can take the trade, and then we'll see where that goes. So we're looking for a sell setup here. Watch it when it breaks this low. If you take this trade, the stop has to be here. So I'm going to show you how we would probably take this trade. I would put the M shorter in short. You can short it from here. When they don't break the top, I hate to short it from here, but we can do that and put this stop here. right? The target for this trade is here. We want it to come to the bottom here. Now, it would be better if we can get this trade in the New York session when the news is on. That drop could happen in a single. See that single drop there? That could happen. But we don't want this to break now. So it could come here, tag you, go back to the top there, make a bigger flat, and then go. So if you're going to take this trade, you got to be really, really careful. Make sure you know how to get out of this before it gets back to the top. If you're not sure about it, then wait. What you can wait for is two things. You can wait for a flag here, wait for this to make a flag, and then we sell the flag. Or wait for it to go back to the top there, and if it does that in the New York session, we'll be selling a flag from the top to come down. So which one would it be? I don't know. Right? It's not like we know what it's going to do. We are making forecasts based on what we have. And then now you would hear this saying very often in my room. The good trades will take care of themselves. Your job is to take care of the bad trades. So if this is a good trade, like yesterday, the good trades, you don't have to do anything. They will just go. That's a good trade. It goes, you take profit. Your problem as a trader is not to get a good trade, it's to manage the bad trades. And I think this is what a lot of traders don't understand. They believe their job is to go find a good trade. Any trade you take could be a bad trade. You don't know if it's a good trade or a bad trade. You don't know the outcome of a trade. The best setup in the world that anybody can ever find using any strategy and any means of analysis, the best setup that you can find could be a bad trade. Right? Now your job is to manage the bad trade. Get out of that bad trade for the least possible damage you can do to your account. That is what makes you a trader. Not finding a good trade. Anybody could find a good trade. Right? You could guess your way out of this than find a good trade. That's not hard to do. Just click buy or click sell and it's got 50% chance it's going to be a good trade. But what if it's not a good trade? What if it's not going the way you expect it to go? Then what do you do? I can tell you what most traders do. And I think most of you will recognize yourself when I say this. You panic. You panic. You know how I know you panic? I get a lot of panic messages. Not from my traders, just random people sending me, hey, I'm in this trade and I really don't know what to do. It's going against me and look, it's going so much against me. I need your help. Can you please help me? Yep, that's what they do. They panic. They panic because they haven't planned it correctly and they have no idea what it's going to do next. Because if you don't understand wave analysis, you have no idea what it's going to do next. And that makes you panic. Unknown will make all of us panic. Not only that person, it will make any one of us panic if we don't know. You're in the dark and you hear a sudden song, you're going to panic. Trust me, you're going to panic. Anybody here will panic because you don't know what the hell that song is. Especially if it's a song you don't recognize, right? And you're in the dark. Well, traders trade in the dark. Not understanding wave analysis, understanding structure is trading in the dark. Going against you is that song you're hearing that you don't know what it is. You don't know which side it's in. It's front of you, the side of you, the back of you. You panic. And when you panic, what happens? You fail to logically analyze the chart any further. All your logical thoughts close down. Your brain closed down logics and open emotion. So you are no longer thinking logically. The answer could be right in front of you that you yourself might be able to do, but you can't do it because your brain shuts down the logical part of it and it's gone into an emotional thing. Flight, right? Flight or die. So you're going to literally panic and you're running and you're going to die in that trade because you have no idea what to do. And that's when traders start writing. Not only me, I assume they'll write everybody they know and think, hey, please, I'm in this trade. Please help me. Please help me. Nothing is wrong with that. That might be the best outcome for you to send a message. Somebody will answer you. Most times I answer when I'm in front of the computer. I will answer because I know that trader. I know what he's suffering at the moment. I know what he's going through. So I would answer him and said, okay, send me a snapshot of the trade. Let's see what we can do. And sometimes it's a trade that is in a very, very small account. I will still take my time to do it. Because I know what he's going through. It's not the money value of the trade. It's what he's going through at the moment. Right? That panic moment. So the first thing I'll do is to try to cool him down. Hey, don't worry, relax. This is just one trade. Let's see what we can do. When the trader said me that this trade is 50% of my account down, then is when I get into trouble. Okay, you should never let that happen in the future. It happens, right? I think a lot of you are seeing yourself and say, well, that happened to me. This is what wave analysis give. We took this trade here, and I can show you back that trade. If you missed it, go watch it yesterday. And then we very calmly closed it for positive because we understand what it's doing. Once it went back to the top and it came down, I'm like, okay, it's going to drop, but it's not dropping now. So I got out of the trade and we wait for the next setup. The next setup was in the news, so we took the other trades. We took Euro, we took Aussie, we took the ones that have the better setups than the one that doesn't have the best setup. Now today this has a perfect setup. Well, slightly perfect. It didn't break the top. It's slightly perfect. Right? It's not that perfect. If it was perfect, it would break the top, this would again. But we're going to take this trade and I'll show you again very calmly, very cool, how you're going to manage the trade. No panic. There's no panic in my trading room. Nobody's ever panicked. We trade the news and we don't panic. Right? When things are moving super fast. And that is the state you want to be in when you're trading every day, every time. Now, if you follow the rules we give you, you're never going to panic. My traders don't send me panic messages. Never. They don't, because if they do, I'll get them to go redo the course. But then they don't do it because they know the rules. They know their first thing, their money management is very good. Their risk management is very good. They understand the trades. They figure out when it's not working. What they will relook at the charts and say, okay, what's wrong with this trade? What structure didn't work the way I expected to? And what should I do? They know what to wait for to exit that trade. And you can do that too. So let's go see what they're doing. CAD. Remember, we're selling CAD. I told you CAD is going to come down to break this low, and we sold it from the top, but we got out of that trade for profit. The first one was even a small loss and then profit because it's not doing what you're going to expect it to do. So the first trade we took was this one. And of course, I thought this was going to drop to the bottom there. That's always the wish of any trader. When you get in the trade, it's going to drop 400 pips now for you. Instead, it started to go back up. So what we did, we closed it in the correction, took a small loss, wait for it, sell it back here, sold it back there again, and I closed that one in this somewhere in here, right? You guys saw it. Go and watch the recording. You'll see it if you missed it, right? So that's trade. Now, was it a sell yesterday? Absolutely. Remember what I told the traders? Ignore the CAD. Remember what I told my traders? Ignore the CAD because we had to put an entry here for the sell and it was at the top there, which was useless. It would have tagged you, pull back. You would have got break even in the trade. You wouldn't have got profit like they got on the Euro and they got on the Aussie, because we select those trades because we know they're profitable. This one was not going to give you profit. You're going to get break even. So just look at that. We looked at a couple trades and we said, okay, ignore this one, but trade those. And those actually turned out to be amazing profit, and this one would have been break even. That's the power of wave analysis. That's what it does to your trading. Very quiet, very calm. This was a sell setup. I said, I don't like it. This morning we saw this. I told my traders, if you take it with a lot of caution, because we have these sharp waves here, and when we get those sharp waves there, very often they can drop here and start to repeat that sharp series of sharp waves before they eventually drop. Remember with this one, when we said we're going to get a running flat, went back, we got a running flat. So there's a good chance that these sharp waves might repeat themselves this afternoon, and you're going to get that. It's coming to break this low, and then it's going to go back up, right? This is coming to break this low, and then it's going to go back up. So after this afternoon, if we get any sell set up, we will continue to sell it, right? Now, there's a good chance it's just going to continue to go down, but it's going to go down really slow. You may or may not get a trade in this. It doesn't matter. Trade something else. So if it continues to do like this, or like this, or like this, you may or may not get any trade. If it's going to come down like this, then don't worry with it. Wait until it's here and let it start to do like this. When it starts to move like that, see this? And you get into a flag here, and that flag takes off, and make a next flag and take off, and make a next flag and take off. These are the trades you want. When they're going like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, then ignore it. You can trade it, but if they don't go, get out. Don't take losses, right? And wait for the setup. Now it's moving, so let's see how far it's going to go, right? And if we're going to get any good setup again in it. Swiss dropping. Remember I said this is going to drop. We didn't take the trade because once it breaks this low, it can turn. Now you have another setup this morning. I don't know if any traders take it. It went back to the top. Once it gets back to this top, you can sell if you want, but again, this is a high risk trade, right? It get back to the top there, you can sell it, but it's a high risk trade because this thing can stop right here and start going back up. Now there's a little bit more to the downside. I'm not interested in that until I get this. So we were selling this from the top, but we stopped selling it once we broke the low. And yeah, we didn't get that. Those were sell setups. Some traders took it. I didn't take it. We're gonna wait for this to happen, or we're gonna try to trade that, and then this trade becomes the amazing trade. This trade that we got here, see that little one there? That trade is an amazing trade. So if we get this running flat out of the way today, if this makes a spike up today and we get it out of the way, that would be great. If it goes up slowly, we'll buy it. Now, if it keeps going down like this, I don't know. Some traders will take it. I would just trade anything else that has a better setup. Basically, just go find something else that has a better setup. Something will have a better setup and you'll trade that. So it's going, I think we're going to stop very soon and pull back. Keeper, if you're selling it, be aware that it's not going to move really far. It's going to pull back. It will start to pull back very soon. This was mostly the news drop. You're not going to get that here. Euro is going sideways. We'll keep an eye on it, see what it's doing. Take this off. This was actually this one that didn't happen, so we'll still get that somewhere in the future. We'll wait for that. It's not happening as yet. We're still in this corrective piece going up like this. So this will continue, and then we will get the sharp one. EuroCAD. Take the buy setup off. We were looking for a buy setup this morning in the trading room because it was here. And if it had gone up, we'll take the trade. Now that it came back deep, we'll assume that we just got into this probably. Maybe a running flat somewhere here. We'll relook at this pattern when we come in. It could be a running flat, but I don't think it's a running flat as yet. We might be making a running flat now. So that trade is off. The depth of the pullback is too much. We'll still look for a buy setup, but we'll look for a buy setup from here going up now. Right, so we'll relook at that. Euro New Zealand, we're in this trade, it's pulling back. That's normal, don't worry, they always pull back. Once it pulled back the first time and it started to drop, you'll be good. So when this pull back and then drop, we'll move the stops. Right? So let it drop back again, then you can put it to break even if you want. It dropped back, it should drop to about here, you'll have about 30-35 pips. It should not pull back to that level again. It should continue to go. Any pullback should not get back to that level. Euro Yen, nothing here. We've got Euro Swiss, nothing on this as yet. It's breaking the low. We want it to break the low. And when it break that low, we'd look for the buy setup. So remember, we sold this. We were selling this from here, coming to break this low. I think somewhere here, we closed that. We re-entered this trade. We closed this. That was a break-even trade. And then it started. We just leave it. There was a sell here. I told you we're not taking it. It went back up. We're not taking this one as well. We're waiting for this trade up now, right? This one. That is this move up. So I wanted to go up. I wanted to make a flag. And then we'll be looking for that trade. Maybe come back here and then go. But if this is the one that is going to take off, that would be good. We're not expecting it to take off. We're looking for this. But if it takes off, hey, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong about that pattern. I don't think I will be, but I'll be happy to be wrong because this is the core correction. Let's go. Euro pound. It's a sell setup, but it's not the ideal sell setup. Right? We put it on. I don't have it here even as a trade because I'm not trading it. It's going to pull back. It's going to go really slow. If you took it, you'll close it for break even already. It's not going anywhere. Right? See the way it's going now? It's just keep doing this, and it probably will do that. It'll just play with you. It'll come here, but it'll mess with you a lot. So do you need trade like that? You just take it off. So if you were in already, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles under 15 minutes. Take it off for break even. It will come back. It will definitely come back to that point. It will get all the way to the bottom here, but that way of trading is not the way to stay. Take the ones that move really fast. When they don't go fast, get the hell out of them. So let it come here, and then we will see if we get an up move. The up move fast, so we'll look for the buy setup. The up moves are faster. Right? We were looking for this move to drop really fast, but it's not dropping. Peng Yen, we don't have anything as yet. No trade. All the yen pairs are at the top, but we don't have any setup for them to trade as yet. So we're gonna wait for that. This one didn't go the way we expected it to go, so we got off to that trade. We'll wait for it. That was a good sell with profit. Pound Swiss, we are looking for a buy setup. Let's see if we get it. It's all the Swiss pairs, by the way. All the Swiss pairs has this 1, 2, 3. So this can go a little more. This is the only Swiss pair that could retest this low, right? Because we might still look at this as the flat. So this is the only one. Unless I get a very good setup, I wouldn't be taking it. But if you go to, let's start back with them. Dollar Swiss. We're expecting that one move up. Let me go back to the 1 hour, sorry. We're expecting this one move up and then downside. Euro Swiss. We're expecting this move up and then downside. This move up here and then come down back. Pound Swiss, you're expecting the same thing. I'll skip that. I just showed you. Aussie Swiss, we're expecting the same thing. This move up and then downside. Right? Because we have this sharp move here, so there's a good chance they're going to do this and then come down. Now the Aussie Swiss, we already have an entry order there for the buy because it's consolidating. Right, it's consolidating, an entry order above the top there for the buy. And we'll see, because this has an impulse, it got a flat, it got an impulse, it's making a flag. The only way we will take this trade off is if this actually stays here, like come back deep into this. Right, then we'll take the trade off because it will go up, but then it becomes a big flat for downside. As of now, if it stays like that, that's a good buy setup. The more it consolidates, less is a buy setup. So would it be, it will still go up, right? It will still give you an impulse, but that impulse will just go break the top and reverse back for one more down. So we'll see if that works. New Zealand Swiss, I haven't checked. Let me see if New Zealand Swiss has anything that is interesting. We don't have the New Zealand Swiss here, that's why I didn't check it. It's at the bottom here. Let's see if it follows the same thing, then we will know it's a Swiss movement, and we can wait for that Swiss movement to come. I think I just saw the New Zealand Swiss here. Yes, it's here. Let me move this back up to the top. Since all the Swiss pairs are interesting, let's see if this one is interesting too. Keep it under here, yeah. New Zealand Swiss. Let's see if we have the same thing here. 4 hours. Yep, structurally we can get one more move up there. This one is dropping very nice actually. This is a nice sell setup. So they'll probably drop. We might get this, but it's going to be more of a long drawn out one. Come here and then probably go back up there. Give you that running flat and then drop. So there might be more downside here. Let's see if we have a good trade set up on it. 1 hour. You actually have a nice one. Yesterday it dropped well, so it could drop today too. And this is a good flat actually for a sell. So this would have to drop one more before you go. So good one. If you get it, that's a good trade. Go for that. And let's see Cat Swiss if we have anything like similar to those. Let me see in the 4 hour. Yep, you can already see that, right? Cat Swiss, we were selling this from here to come back to this low. We broke the low. We're not expecting it to break the low. You see the arrow is here because it's a run. Now it's an expanding flat, so we can expect this to go back to the top there. Now they can still drop a little more. They can even break this low, but they'll go back to the top. So there's not much to the downside. Let's see if we have a buy setup here. No, they all have sell setup, so Aussie Swiss might not tag us. It might just keep going down. There's a sell setup. Let it drop. It will drop one more, break this low, then we look for that reversal. So we might get it this week. Today's Thursday. If anything, we could get it before tomorrow. This will be a good trading opportunity. So there's a sell here if you want. It's a very small one. We already broke the low once. We'll break it twice, no problem. You can get into that trade and get out of it very quick. Right, one more drop and then we're looking for the reversal. For me, these trades are not interesting because they're just one. There's no big risk to reward in it, right? The trades that get the big risk are these trades. Like when it's at the top, they're selling it. When it's at the top, they're selling it to come down. When it's at the bottom, buying this to go. These are good risk to reward trades. But if you can get this, why not? So all the Swiss pairs has that potentially one move up. Keep your eyes on this dollar Swiss. That is going to be a dollar Swiss movement. Now you can select which ones you like best, your choice, and go with it. Let's go. Aussie Yen, we're looking for a sell setup. It's going up. It's a buy right now. You can take the buys, but remember, once they break the top, once they break the top, they'll pull back. So this will break the top and it'll probably come back here. Break the top, come back here. Break the top, come back here. So if you're taking the trade above the top, not a good. If you took this trade, then that's a good idea. Right, but it's a very small trade. This is the trade we're looking for. So when this is finished, it's going to drop here and then go back up. This would be the trade we're looking for. I just showed you like about 20 of those patterns. And I showed you some of them that actually completed already, which means this drop already happened. So, yeah. And right now there is one that drop is happening right now, and that's the dollar yen. Right, so this is going up. That's mostly the Aussie pushing upwards. Take this off. It could break the top. Nothing is wrong with breaking that top. That would be a running flat, which means it can work its way up like that, break the top, come here, and then go back up. This would be a flat. I think we can find a flat like that, very, very similar to that, if not exactly like that. No, this one will have more pieces in it, but you can get the idea. 1, 2, 3. Let's find another one that has very similar structure, right in this here. Yep, think of this piece. See? You gotta move in, you get 1, you get 2, it broke the low. See this one coming down here, break the low, go back up to the top, and then drop, right? So let's go back to the one we're looking at. Take that snapshot in your head and bring it across here now. And you have a move going up. That one came down. This one is going up. You get 1, you're getting 2. This can go break the top, come back here, go back up there, and then drop. So take this pattern and turn it upside down, and you get the pattern that we just looked at here, that I just showed you here. This one. See, this one is coming from the top. And then when this completes itself, it's coming from this way. So you complete this pattern and then you go that way. See? So once you break this low, you'll be looking for a buy setup. Right? Once this finishes and go back to the top there, then you're looking for this to come down. So right now we want this to go here, maybe break the top, not necessary, come back here, go back up there, and once this, we're going to look for the sell setup of this, then we look for the buy of this. And because we're in this, there's a good chance this is just going to continue to go up. It doesn't have to come back. It could come back down when it break this top, come back here again one more time and then go, but most likely it could go. So we'll see which one happens. Let's go back to the 1 hour and get the sell setup. Once we get that sell setup, we can take it. Would you take a buy at the top here when we know that all they can do is just break that up and turn? Nothing is wrong with that buy as long as you get a risk to reward in the trade. Not this trade. This trade doesn't have a risk to reward, which means that this trade breaks the top here. Your stop has to be here, and it could do this and then come back here, literally. It could drop. So there's no risk to reward in that trade. There's a risk to that trade, not a reward to it. Because it's not like you think you're going to take this trade and then it's going to do that. Now, I'm not saying that it cannot do that, but I'm saying if you look at the way it went up, what are the probability of this happening? Look at every time this thing broke the top, it came back down. It broke the top, it came back down. It broke the top, it came back down. It broke the top, it make a consolidation. It broke the top, it came back down. Okay, you broke the top, you came back down, you consolidate here. You're breaking the top, you're consolidating. You're going to break that. What do you think it's going to do? Take off? The logics tell you it's not going to. It could still take off. The point is not you being right or wrong or whether it takes off. The point is that the high probability of that, the probability of that thing taking off is probably like, I don't know, 1%. Right? The probability of it repeating what it's doing here is much higher. Right? So some traders like to take it and then they spike and they say, yo, look, I got it. My wonderful trade. Look, he said it's not going to go. Look, it went. And I'm like, okay, you do that 100 times. And then come back to me. Not one time. Do it 100 times and then come back to me and tell me what your results are. And then you don't even see them, they disappear. And I can give you an example of a lot of them like that disappear. Remember the guy with the yen? When I said if it's gonna go break that up, and he was like, oh, if that happens, I'm gonna stop trading. Where is it? He's probably in the group right now. I guarantee you he's now listening to me. But he's too ashamed to say something. He's too afraid. He knows he's gonna be, hey, oh, I'm not stopped trading. I just said that. What about the guy who sold his house to buy Bitcoin above the top? When I said when it break that up, you got to be careful. Because those guys have no clue. They're trading in the dark. And when you trade in the dark, well, I hope he didn't sell his house. Honest to God, I hope he doesn't sell his house to buy. He just said that as a thing he wants to say, right? He didn't do it. Because that would be the dumbest thing to do. So I hope he didn't do it. I hope he just said it just to say, hey, look, I'm the great trader. Don't listen to this guy. And that's okay. You don't have to listen to me. You just have to watch the charts and learn. I'm not telling the chart what to do. I'm just telling you what the charts are likely going to do based on what it has done in the past. So the only thing I've done more than you is I've studied the past much better than you, and I have a better vision of how these patterns is going to go. That's the difference between me and you right now. Is that I guarantee you I have a better vision of than how these patterns are going to develop because I've actually worked in them so much. And I do this 5 times a day. I don't think any one of you go through all these charts 5 times a day the way I do. So you don't have that practical experience like I do. You will probably get it 5 years from now. You don't have it right now. That's the only difference between the two of us. You can do exactly what I do here. There are many traders who can do it, who learn from me, and they're doing it. So it's not that difficult. But then you stop trading in the dark. You stop saying stupid things like I will stop trading, or I would, I sell my house to buy Bitcoin at the top here and all of that. And you will focus on what is important. What are the patterns doing? So let's see what our trades are doing. We're in the Euro New Zealand. Let's see what that is doing. This is an active trade. This tagged us and it's going. So far, good. Now that and the 1 hour it's dropping, that's good. And the 15 minutes, the pullback is over. This first pullback is over. You notice I didn't panic when it pulled back. You notice I didn't even show you guys when it pulled back. I don't want you to panic. My traders know the rule. The first pullback is not your problem. As a matter of fact, not only in the 15 minutes, the first 1 hour pullback is not your problem. The first pullback, as a rule, is not your problem. That's my rule. If it pulls back the first time, not your problem. Just relax. Go get yourself a cup of tea and relax. It always will pull back. Anybody who tells you they take a trade and it doesn't pull back, or traders like to say, I wait for the pullback and then I take the trade. Yeah, well, then you take the trade and it tags you and then it pull back again. Right? Literally, I wait for the pullback, and then I take the trade. So let's say I'm just going to theoretically show you something. Let's say you were trying to trade something here. So you wait for this to go. Let's say you're trading. You wait for it to go. You wait for it to pull back, and then you took the trade. Well, guess what? It tagged you and then it pulled back. Because they always do that. Every single part of this chart at some point in way will pull back. So you will be tagged and you will get pulled back. Don't try to avoid that. It's hardly, sometimes like in the news, it doesn't happen because the news is momentum. It goes very fast. Sometimes it will take off. Nothing is wrong with that. Sometimes it will take off without the pullback. And yeah, that's more of a perchance. There's no rule to when it's going to happen, except during the news. Most times it's just, well, you got lucky. You can look at this and say, well, there is no pullback because that's the same candle just dropping. You put it in a 4 hour, then you can say, well, that's just 2 candles, right? Nothing happened. But we took the trade on the 15 minutes. It's a 15-minute trade setup, so there was a pullback on the 15 minutes. So we count that as a pullback. If I had taken the trade on the 4 hour, I wouldn't even be in the trade. If I stayed trying to take the trade on the 1 hour, I probably would, maybe, it's still a small flag. Right? But this is a 15-minute flag setup that we took, so that pullback is over. You can put the break even now. And you can't lose on this trade anymore. Remember, your number one goal is to get out of risk. Because you're getting into risk, you're putting your account at risk. So every time you got out of risk, you have protected the account. Win, lost, or break even. Well, in this case, it's win or break even. Your account is not at risk anymore. You can go take another trade. But that doesn't mean you move your stop too fast, right? You don't just immediately, as soon as it moves 5 pips, okay, I'm out of risk. Because then you're not going to win any trade. You're not going to make any money. You have to know when and how you're doing it. Right? That's a whole educational class. I did the analysis, and as I'm doing the analysis, I actually run an entire educational class for you, and most of you didn't even realize that, right? It's just going, and on every single trade, I'm emphasizing something that is of educational value to you, on every single chart. I hope you did realize it, because most of you are like, okay, I'm looking for the trade, so I'm not hearing what he's telling me besides it's a buy or a sell, right? So let's see. By the way, let's focus on those Swiss pairs and let's hope we can actually get them today. That would be amazing if they turn today. If they don't, then tomorrow. If they don't turn tomorrow, those of you who will be with us in the live trading session going on next week, those who join the installment program or actually join the entire group, will get to trade it with us. The rest of you, I'll have to wish very good luck. So, what else? Now I can take some questions and I can look at other charts you guys want me to look at. Type what charts you want to look at. You type what charts you want to look at, then we'll go. Market is a little quiet because there's news this afternoon. Only some things are moving. Watch the yen. The yen might be an active trade. So all of you type what trades you want, what charts you want me to look at, what trades. Don't tell me you guys fell asleep. Everybody awake? Give me some yeses. NASDAQ, let's go. You're awake. I think it's my problem getting used to the delay. I like quick answers. My traders in the room would give me very quick answers, so I'm still getting used to the fact that this has a delay. By the time you guys hear me, I moved on. Sorry. Nasdaq. Okay, did you take the sell? Right, it's coming down. So we've got this flat. We came down. So now we're going to get a different structure. It's going to go back up. We think they're going to go back up. You can look at it this way. Remember, we said this comes back to the top. It gives you 1, 2, 3. That flat. Now you get 1, 2, 3. You get this one. You still need to get this. So there should be a buy setup forming here. Go back there, but now be careful. I don't know how high this one is going to go because we broke the low. And then there's a chance they might come back here before they go. Right? This flat is getting very complex with an expansion in the middle. I would go with the expansion in the middle. Where would we put? You could actually be in that buy already in the 15. Are you in the buy already? There's a 15-minute buy setup. You in it already? Yep, there's a 15-minute buy setup. If you're not in that trade, wait for the 1 hour buy setup, which means you wait for this to consolidate in the 1 hour. So you wait for a 1 hour flag here, and then you take this straight to the upside. One single move and then take the profit off because it's going to come back down. Let's go. Nasdaq, we're out. Bitcoin. Somebody wants Bitcoin. Let's go. Bitcoin is making a bigger flat. You see this one is higher, so you can make an argument for two things. You can make an argument that this is the flat, that is the top, and we're making a bigger flat here. You got a drop, and this is coming here. You see that is going up there, that will go there. It'll probably come back here. You'll get this flat, and then this upside. The higher this go, the better it is for you. The higher this piece goes, right, to the top, the better it is. Could this be the one that takes off and this is the flat? That is also possible. So in the big picture is upside, in the small picture is upside. I wouldn't try to sell it now, right? Because there's a good chance you're going to come back and break this and go down. But the downside is limited now. Well, here's the thing. Let's assume, let's go. Let me just show you this because traders ask me this a lot. So let me go. Let's assume this one is going to drop all the way to the bottom. Let's assume that's it. This is the top and we're coming down, right? So let's assume this here is the top. Sorry, that is the top. And it's not wrong one. Bitcoin, where is Bitcoin? Yeah, let's assume this is the top of this whole move. And they're actually coming back to retest the low. You don't have to get it from the very, very top there. Unless you get a perfect setup. And this one here is not a perfect setup for downside. Right? So although I think this is going to go here and come back here, it's not the perfect sell setup. Because once this is completed, I think they're going to go back up. Now, this might also be part of the structure. We don't know. But right now, I'll put it like this. Right? This is a flat. It went up, made a top, come down. You're making a bigger correction here, and then you're going to go. Would you like to buy this 15 minutes? That's your call. Right? If you want this 15-minute trade, this is your call. It's not the best 15-minute trade because, remember, you have this sharp move still in the way. That could still come. Now, if you put it like this and you think all of this is making one big flat, let's say you think all of this is making one big flat, then this comes here and come back right back down here. You get something like this, and then you get the upside. So it all depends on which of those two patterns would be the likely pattern when it's finished. Work with both of them. Assume that both of them are correct. This is going to go up a little and then it's going to drop and then it's going to go back up. Now the sell might still be, if you trade the 50 minutes, the sell might still be the best thing. Nasdaq and Pound. We did Nasdaq already, so I'm going to look at Pound now. Pound, if you took the buy, now that it pulled back and go, you put it to break even. It might be short-lived, right? Because we have news coming up in New York session. They might not go anywhere. They might just consolidate and try to come back down. What's the next one? So you put it to break even. You're gonna get break even in trade. If you didn't take the trade, just leave it alone. Now you don't have a trade as it stands. Let's see. NVAX. What is that? I have no idea, but let's take a look for you. NVAX. Sorry, X. I hope I got it right. This one. Is it a Nasdaq chart with another code in it? Okay, let's see what this has for you. It's going up. Let's see. I want to see what it looks like in the daily, just out of curiosity. Oh, this thing is pretty low. So let me go into weekly. I want to see where the bigger low was. Holy crap! So I would make an assumption that this one was the lowest point, right? That this is the starting point, and that was the first move up. I might be wrong. I don't have the whole charts, but what we notice is that you have something like this, and you made that move up, right? So if it came from here, this is the flat. 1, 2, 3. And we made a move up. But if you come down from that point, then the question is that the absolute top, or this one came from this side? Right? So if this came from this top, then what you have is a flat. We're coming to retest the low, and then we'll probably go back up, or we'll collapse totally. Right? So these are the two things that could happen here now. Depends on what was before here. If you can get me a longer chart, I'll be happy to do this, because I'm quite curious. I can see the flat pattern here very clearly. I think we can all see that, right? We can all see the flat pattern here. You got an impulse, you start to get all these word correction in there, you got another impulse. And then you reverse that impulse, which is very clear. So the question is, this impulse came into it. That's for sure. We know that. Now, is what happens here. Did this come from the bottom, or did it come from here? Because if it comes from this side, this is a flat. And this is coming down as an impulse here. It will probably come close to 0, and then maybe go back up or collapse. Those are the two possibilities I can see. Totally collapse or go back up. But if this thing came from the bottom here, right, and you got this flat, then I don't know why we have this pullback. It doesn't make sense. So this is the absolute top. That is this pattern, and we're starting something else here. Totally. This would be the first impulse of whatever you're starting there. Now, for trading purpose, why trade this? That's my first question. For trading purpose, why trade this? It's going down. It's useless. There's no buy setup. There's no sell setup here. You definitely wouldn't sell it to the bottom here. That's too much risk. There's no buy setup. So what would be your first buy setup if you want to buy it? Well, you see, this looks like a running flat to me. So it's probably going to drop one more. Wait for this to make a flag. Any impulse that makes a flag, go with that buy as the first buy. Put it to break even and pray that it doesn't come back really fast and take you out under here rather than take you out for break even. So hope you can get break even in any trade you take to the upside. If you're lucky, they actually make a spike to the upside, and good for you. But it's not a perfect chart. You don't, if it's going to collapse totally, then why? Question is why. Give me the whole charts, I'll tell you, just out of curiosity. So we got that one out of the NASDAQ, if possible. We did NASDAQ already. I am not in the... Okay, good. Let's see. Hi, sir. Is Pong USD will go bullish? Well, depends on what you mean by bullish. Right? It's going up. I don't know. Is that bullish? At what stage do you call it a bullish move, right? It's already going up. We already looked at it. Right? This is what it's doing right now, and it's been going up since here. Since this point, it's been going up. So... is it bullish? I mean, that's just a terminology. That has nothing to do with your trading. What you should focus on in the trading, do I have a buy or a sell setup right now? Because even in the bullish move, you're going to have sell setup. And a lot of good sell setups too. So right now it's a buy. Like I told you, it's already gone. And it's very dangerous in where it is. Now, you would have already had to be in that trade. And when it comes back here, you'd have to put it to break even. If it doesn't come back there, you close the trade. Now, there's a high probability of this thing coming back. It all depends on how you look at a bigger structure. So let's look at a bigger structure. This is what we have, right? This is the bigger structure. Now, I don't think this is all the consolidation. There are many reasons for that. I'm not going to go in it right now. So I think we're going to break this top, which means this would go break that top, but then it will likely come back here before we go. So we're taking the buys that we get. Because remember, this pattern was going to be a buy setup. We told you about it. That was a good buy yesterday. If we get another buy here, you can take it. But you have to be very cautious, especially when it breaks that top. Because from that point, anything is possible. It could drop really sharp. So we look at that, right? Let's go. I did that already. Let's see what else we're looking at. That is for it. Can we look at Aussie USD for breaking up the top of the correction? You just came in. We did all the Aussie USD already. So right now, we're expecting it to come back here. Sorry. We'll expect this to come back here, and then we look for one more spike, and then we look for the drop. So yes, also we might get a buy setup this afternoon when it comes back. Can we sell it if it's going to drop? Let's see. No, we might not sell it. So if you bought this, it's pretty high risk. But if you bought it good, this was a buy setup you could have taken. Right, this was the buy we got yesterday. It pulled back, then you make this one, you make this one, you make this. This has to pull back like this, right? So when this pull back here, then we get another buy setup. Let's hope it drop here, and this afternoon we get a flag here for this buy. We'll buy. Now, if it's at the top to come down, well, it's 4:30 my time, right? That will be 4:30 my 4:30. Now is already 12. So it's like in 4 hours time. I don't think we'll get to the bottom here in 4 hours unless it drop really fast. So this afternoon we might even get the sell setup. We'll see which one comes. We'll take any trade that we get, the sell or the buy. Right now buying it here is not a deal. You're actually looking for the sell. And the sell is short term unless it's a contracting flat. So now I'm going to confuse the heck out of you. If this here is a contracting flat, this sell could be amazing to the downside. So if we get a sell set up here this afternoon, it doesn't matter what, we will take it. Join us this afternoon, you'll see how we do that. Right? So I don't think it's a contracting flat. I think we will come here and we'll go back up and then we will drop. So let's see how that plays out. Just keep following us. You will see how we look at the patterns, how we look at it changing in the structure in the pattern. Everything will be pretty clear to you. Yen is an active trade right now. So let me go through the yen. That's an active trade. I just got tagged in the yen. Why did I get tagged so early? My broker is kind of tagged me. I think this one is a little closer for me. Let me go see the real thing. I have it here. I probably don't have it exactly yet. Mine is a little closer. It's here. And I got tagged in the trade already. I don't know how that happens. The broker I'm using does do that. We have this weird thing. So we're in the trade, no problem. I'm actively in the trade. You will decide when it comes, right? So we'll see. If it doesn't go again, you know the rules, right? If they don't go, they stay too long, we'll think. I don't think this one is going to go because we didn't break the top. But I think we'll break this low. So we'll come here and we'll decide how deep they come into this. It might go back up and then drop. That's how we're expecting. But if it keeps going down from here, that's a good trade. We'll manage the trade. My stop is way at the top there, so no need to worry about it. We're trying to get this move down. Right, that move down. You see this drop here? That's a drop we're trying to get. Let's hope it happened before this afternoon, before 4 p.m. My time. That is before the news this afternoon. Let's see what else. We looked at that already. Gala USDT. Let's see what for you guys. I don't think I have that on also. USDT. Let's see. You guys bear with us because sometimes these trades actually these trades these guys are asking for sometimes have really nice setup and you might want to trade it too. I think this is crystal clear. You're looking for downside. See this here? They're expecting this to come down one more like that. Come back to this level here and then probably go back up. And you still have this. I hope that helps you. Look for a sell setup at the top there. Go back to the 1 hour now. You don't have a sell setup as it. As a matter of fact, it looks like it could go one more up. Right now, this looks like it could go one more up. I don't see the sell setup in it as yet. Wait for this to drop a little more, make a flag, and then sell it. That would be better. Let's see. What else am I missing? I'm going too slow, so you guys give me some time. We got that already. Thanks. Can you please talk about trading psychology and life psychology just to motivate me as a struggling trader? Because I think most of the time when I fund my account, I blow it, but it used to be profitable 8 months. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. I have to get this door. Sorry about that, guys. My baby daughter is sick, and they just called me to tell me that her temperature is going up. She's crying a little, so don't worry. They have enough people there. The mother is there. Everybody's there to look after her. That's life. Part of life and part of working at home, right? So let's go on. Now the alarm is on. Give me 1 more second. sorry about that. That's the alarm to check the temperature. Let's go. Yep, so this one, it could go a little more, but keep your eyes for the downside. It's better to wait for it to start giving you the sell setup, and then you go for this trade. Let me see what's the next one. Oh, the trading psychology thing. I'm not a psychologist, so I really can't give a lot of advice on trading psychology and all of that stuff. But I can tell you, if you're losing, there are two things that is wrong, right? One is you're trading either too much risk on your account, and that's like one possibility why you're losing. The second possibility where you're losing is you have no idea what you're doing, which means you're trading without the necessary knowledge to trade. Now I'll break it down to you very quick in some steps what you need to do to become a good trader, and these are the important things you would have to learn. The number one thing you have to do is called analysis. You definitely need to learn to analyze the charts. Without that, you're not a trader. Right? You need to learn to analyze the chart. You need to understand, because you are going to, as a trader, you're going to make a forecast. That's what you're going to do. You're going to make a forecast, and you're going to decide that I'm going to buy the euro because I think it's going to go back up. It's going to go up. That's a forecast. I'm going to sell the euro because I think it's going down. That's a forecast. Now, you have to know what's the basis of your forecast. What you're using to make that forecast. Now, you could use the news because you read it somewhere. You could use the internet because some guru on the internet tell you it's going to go down or it's going to go up. You could analyze it yourself, and you could figure out that you're using a specific method that works or doesn't work, right? But you can analyze it yourself. Now, before you use any method, you should backtest it. So you should go and take, like, this is how I use a method to create my bias. Because what you're trading is your bias, your personal bias. So I believe it's going to go up, I'm buying. I don't care about the rest of the world. And that's okay. But what made you believe it's going to go up? Now, you read something on the internet, that seems very sketchy, right? You watch the news, that is above your head, way above your head. You watch some guru on the internet, well then maybe, but then you need to question what that guru is doing. So you will look at the guru's method, you'll go back to 100 trades like that and see what results you're getting. If you're getting it wrong, go probably follow him for a while. Watch all his recording, watch everything he has done in the past, and then see whether it's working for you. If you find any method you think is interesting and it's working, you watched it live and you think it's working, you can join him and learn from him. Now you need to learn to do it. And like anything in the world you intend to do, you need to have the basic knowledge of how to do it. Then you're going to create strategies, or you're going to take the strategies they use. So the analysis, number two, is the strategy you're going to use. And the strategy would include money management, risk management, trade management. These are three different things, and all three of them are very, very important. The first one, money management, is how much money you're going to lose on any given trade. Not make, how much money you're going to lose on any given trade. Risk management is whether the trade has any risk, is worth the risk to reward to take the trade in the first place. And if you're following me this week, there are a lot of trades I said, this one is going to go down, but we're not taking this trade. There's no risk to reward in the trade. The risk management that I use tells me that's a useless trade. It still will go, but it's useless. So I'm not taking that trade. That specific trade I'm not taking. I'm going to take the one that I think has better risk to reward. Right? And if it goes, it goes. I don't know the outcome of any given trade. You don't know the outcome of any given. No one knows the outcome of any given trade. So your job is to use all of these things to tell you where to go. And then the last thing you can go to is trade management. This is something I created a few, which is, you never hear guru talk about managing your trades. They will say you have a stop, you have a take profit, you have an entry. That's your problem. It's either going to take you out. And I decide that's nonsense. You don't have to wait for it to take you out. As a matter of fact, we used to get out of trades often. Traders will get out. The trade management that most traders use is called panic. They panic and they close the trade, or they panic and they jump in the trade. That's not the trade management we use. What we did is we looked at every specific strategy we use and how we enter these trades. One second, guys. This alarm is getting at me. One second. Sorry about that. So you don't have to use panic as a trade management. We have specific rules that when we take this one, these are the things we're looking for. And if this happens, then we do this. Right? On any given trade, if it does X, Y, Z, this is what you should do. And you should follow those rules. Because how did we come up with these rules? We came up with the rules by trading. As we are trading, traders would come and say, hey, every time I take this trade, this is what happened to me. And we're like, well, okay, let's do something about it. We create a group. Remember at the start of this webinar, I show you we have a testing group. We create testing groups and we said, okay, let's go back and test this stuff. Let's see if it's really happening to him or it's his imagination or it's emotion. Something your emotion tells you it's happening to you, but it's not really happening to you every time. So we create test groups and we back test them. And then we said, okay, or we forward test them too. So we take stats and then we said, okay, you know what? Only 3 trades out of 20 does that to you. So stop, just go back to what you're doing and follow that rule and continue, because 3 out of 20 that we checked, or 3 or 10 out of 100 does that. And that's normal. That's the statistics is on your side. So maybe, we looked at it and said, oh, you know what, you're right. 80% of those trades we take like that actually does this. It's just that a lot of us don't take those trades like that. So we stopped doing that and we said, okay, this is what you can do. You can tweak it this way. And when we do all of this thing, what happened to us is that we trade with a comfort level. And when you get that comfort level, you don't need to go seek a psychologist, or you don't really need people to tell you about trading psychology. You don't need to buy a course on trading psychology, because that's going to be useless to you. You can buy all the courses on trading psychology. If you're not following these rules, it's all going to be useless, because you're going to get the same problem over and over again. And all the trading thing they learn you about breathing, breathe, go do meditation, do all of that stuff, is not going to help you. You're going to panic again. You get back into the same situation because you're still in the dark. The knowledge of understanding what the chart is going to do is going to put you in the light, so you can see what you're doing. You're not actually doing it in the dark. See? That would be the difference. So now you can see what the trade is doing and you can know what you want to do with it. Very simple. See? That's what we can do. You take a trade, it's not going to go your way, no problem. There are many trades you're going to take not going your way. What you do with the trade is what is important. So Euro New Zealand, it's pulling back right now, right? Sorry, Euro New Zealand. This is pulling back right now. We're tagged in this trade. It's pulling back. You can do many things with it. You can look at it and panic, or you can say, you know what? We had one pullback on the 15 minutes. So with the second pullback, I'm out for break even. You can make that decision. I'm out for break even. You can also say, you know what? I would ignore this one pullback and I would wait to see what happens after that pullback. Now, do you know what could happen after the pullback? If you know what could happen after the pullback for you to exit the trade, then great. If you don't know, then you shouldn't do that. And that's the problem. Is if I'm looking at this trade, I know what I should look for to start exiting this trade. The first pullback is still not a problem. So let's say this is the first hourly pullback now, right? That's the first hourly pullback, see? So I know what I should look for to exit this trade for either a small loss or break even. By all means, I have my stop loss there, which means if the worst happened, I lost one trade. And that's normal. That's going to happen to you. Not all of them good. But if I look at this, I can say, you know what? I'm not worried about that, because I pretty much know what should happen next. And if whatever happens next, it shows me that it's going to go up, I am out of that trade. But if whatever happens next shows me that it's still going down, then I just stay with the trade. See? Without any panic or without any emotional decision. These are all rational decisions that I'm making. My rational decision making is not closed down because I'm not emotional about the trade. And at the bottom end of the day, this is just one of the hundreds of trades I'll be taking for this month. So by using good money management, this one trade, I don't really care about it. Right? Think about it this way. I know this might be the really, really wrong thing to say at this moment, but think of it as a war. You don't micromanage every soldier. You manage battles and you manage the war. Right? If you're the general or you're the guy overseeing everything, you don't manage every single soldier. You manage these battles. Can you win this battle? Do you need to pull back from the battle? Are you losing the battle? That's not still losing the war. Are you going to lose some soldiers along the way? Absolutely. Think of these trades as your soldiers. You're the general. Some of them you're going to lose. The idea is not to lose all of them. And the idea is not to lose the battle itself. Right? If you lost one battle, you still haven't lost the war. So, if you think in that process, like I said, it's really, really the wrong one, an analogy to bring up right now, but it might make you think. Right? It might make you think about it and say, okay, yes, let's do this. These one trade should not be the end of the war or the end of any battle. It's just one loss. If you do your money management properly, you should not be worried about it. And if you do all of that, you don't need any psychologist. You should be good, right? So you have something to work on. Can you check XRP? Let's go. Sorry for the long one, but the long answer, but he asked, so we had to help him, right? We had to tell him what he needs to do. Let's go to XRP. I think we have that. Let's see what it's doing. Downside, definitely. A little more downside and then up. So remember when we had this going up here, I told you we're going to go there, we're going to come here because we're going to make a flat. This might come a little more here because we kind of tagged the top, so we might come back, tag the low, but it could also work its way up here and then look for a sell. That will complete this pattern. So here's the thing, I would not be worried about the buy. I will ignore the buy totally. I would let it go up like this. Either drop one more and then go up, or go up from here, break that top, complete this pattern, and then look for the sell. Because you're going to come down like this. The whole pattern is forming at the bottom of this. So remember this one, when I showed you this also in the thing, you had this 1, 2, 3 up. We had this 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3. This one has more. This is a correction, so that's more down. 1, 2, 3 up. That is on the internet. Forecast on the internet. You can go and check it. You should go. That thing should have about 1 million views, but it doesn't because that worked perfect. Now we're doing this, and this one, once it gets to the top there, I'll make a forecast and put it out for this trade. So this should come and break the low. Now, would it go break the low? I don't know, but I know it's going to drop one more for sure, right? Because when this pattern is completed, this is making this sideways correction that you have here. Now, I don't think it's going to be as big as this. I think it's going to be more like this one, smaller, like that, and then drop. So once we get that, once it goes back to the top there, I'll look for the drop. And this one will be out. I'll put that chart out. So it's going to be up to you guys to share it. And let's hope it get 1 million views. Right? That's what we'll be looking for. Yen is going really good, by the way. So I've got two trades on and 1 entry order. I've got the Euro New Zealand and the Yen on, and I've got the order and the Aussie Swiss. Right? Those are the 3 I'm looking at right now. We will get more as we go along. Once I get back into the trading, we'll put more trades on. Okay, let's go. What else? Can we check SPX as well? We checked all those things already, guys. Go back and watch the recording because we'll run out of time. Let me see. Is there a way to know when the correction wave ends? Yes, there is a way. Join the 6-week course. I'll definitely train you so you know how to do that. What prop firm do you recommend? I don't recommend any prop firm. I don't do it. I don't get into the recommendation of those things. I can tell you that there is a hedge fund in Dubai that works with us, and if our traders want, they will take a demo account, practice in it, but only for our traders. And if they get good results, they'll get a live account without any payment. No payment for that. I took the cat selling the flag. Just need to set up my take profit. Good. Well done, Joji. Joji's in our group, by the way. You can see that, right? You hope, yeah, you will get a 1-to-1. Just set it up, go for it. It has a lot more to go down, so don't worry. Get in the trading room after this, and we'll look at that. There'll be some guys in the trading room as well. I might join you guys a little later in there. DXY going down. Thank you for the XRP. No problem. The XRP is a good one, by the way. If you guys trade it, if you can sell it, some of you can sell it on the brokers you're on. You can short it as a spot. If you can do that, that's good. If you can't, well, then some brokers you can only sell it if you own it, right? But some brokers you can spot trade it, which means you can do the trade it like a currency, right? You're not trading the XRP, you're just speculating on the price. So if you can do that, great. Okay, guys, any more questions? I think good questions, a lot of good questions and a lot of good discussion. I like it. Let's go. What else? Anything else? We're looking at the trade. So I will go through the 2 trades that I'm tagged in, and I'll tell you what I'll do to them, and then what is the best place? What is the best place to trade and to be with good traders? Dubai. Oh, you mean where to live? your choice, my friend. Anywhere you want to live. Right? We're doing it online, so it doesn't matter where you live. Live where you're happy, where your family is. Right? You decide that for yourself. I can tell you where is the best group to trade. I can tell you where the best group is. Right? You live wherever you feel comfortable and wherever you feel happy. or your family, friends, or wherever, that's a choice. You can do that. But once you get online, I can tell you which group to be with. You don't need me to tell you, right? I think you know the answer by now which group you should be in, where you have really amazing people, right, in the group. So we have some really, 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 really amazing people in our group. So, you can make that choice. Can we check? I think we've checked that already. Nat gas. I'll do nat gas very quick, and then I don't think I have that one on. We'll do that in the afternoon. We have nat gas here. Let's see. It actually didn't break up, so you may want to pull this entry order. Take that entry order out. By the way, thanks for reminding me on this one. Take the entry order out because it came pretty deep, which means that there's a good chance that they might retest the low again, right? I wouldn't be looking for a sell here. Right, this eventually is going to turn, right? You can see that. Eventually this is going to turn. So let it break the low and then look for the buy setup. I would not be looking at a sell at the bottom there. That's too dangerous. Now this is a sharp wave, so we would have to find another sharp wave to go with that, and we don't have any. I don't think we have any sharp wave to go with that. So maybe we're gonna get a long drawn out correction with one more here. Yep, and this is a lot of correction. Yes, this is a sharp wave. This is a lot of corrections here. We're probably going to go back up. And we might drop again before they go. So this might become a running flat. It's going to break the low. So if you get a buy setup here, that'd be good. When it breaks the top, we'll look for the sell again. So if it comes back to this top, then the sell would make sense. Selling here at the bottom, it's a sell setup, but that's not a great idea because you don't know where it's going to turn, right? Good one, by the way. Can you look at the US oil? There is a 15-minute flag. There's a 15-minute flag for what? The buy? You're looking for a 15-minute flag here for the buy? You can go with it. You can take it. That could probably go more. For the sell, let me see if you're talking about a sell. I don't see a 15-minute flag. No, sell. No, I would not sell any 15-minute flag in here. Bad idea. See, you're exactly at the top here. This one came back all the way to the top. So selling any 15-minute flag in here is not a good idea. Because once you come back to this low, it can go up. Right? So you see this one here, you kind of do this, you went back to the top, you come here. If you're going to sell this, let it break through all of this and make a flag here for you. Then we go with the sell. Right, because what you're selling there is you're setting yourself up for it to tag you and go back to the top. USD CAD consolidated, now it's a good chance. Now sell 15 minute. The CAD 15 minute sell, I don't think that's a great idea, but let's take a look at it first. No, selling a 15 minute under here is a bad idea. If you sold this one this morning, the one Joji sold, I think this is the one Joji sold. If you sold that with a stop here, then this is your profit zone. That's where you're thinking about taking profit, not selling again. And wait for that. The buy for the upside. Oh, that's an aggressive buy. I don't know if you have even on the 15 minute, I don't see any buy set up there. It could be a buy, but you have to wait some more. I don't see any buy set up right now. The CAD you're talking about is sell. The buy is what? Aussie Swiss buy. The Aussie Swiss, which one? Aussie Swiss, we have an insured on the Aussie Swiss already. It's not tagged as yet. The Aussie Swiss, we have an insured above the stop. It's valid as of now, but if this come a little lower, take it off. Because it's going to break one more down there. Right? So if this starts coming lower, the sell, I don't think you should. You can take the sell if you want, but let's say you sold this yesterday. You got break even, right? You'll probably close that trade in here for break even. Let's say you sold this one. You'll probably close the trade for break even. So if you sell this one, it's probably going to do the same thing here. And then eventually this is going to go up. So I'm looking for the buy setup on the Aussie Swiss because it's at the bottom of this 4-hour structure. See? And at some point this will go back up because we have got a big flat. I'm looking for a running flat possibility. So the sell at the bottom there is not giving you good risk to reward, and there's a lot of divergence, and you'll end up at break even. So why go for the sell? The buy is still valid for now until it actually breaks this, or I'll probably even think of pulling it soon, because if it goes now, it might still be a flat, right? So I'm gonna pull the buy very soon and out of it. We have the entry above the top. If it doesn't go, we'll pull it. Okay, what else? USD CAD sell 1 hour. It's already gone. You have to wait for a setup. I just showed you. You have to wait for another consolidation if you're going to sell. The 1 hour sell is gone already. That you're looking to take profit in it. On the set of trades, you take more momentum trades or trades simple like basic structure. Basic structure. The momentum trade is only during the news. And most times nothing happened. Yesterday was just one of the 20% of the time that something happens. If you will come this afternoon, we'll trade it again, nothing is likely going to happen. Most time it's just basic structure we're trading. The market keeps moving all the time, right? Not only when the news is happening. So, okay guys, right? I will take a break now. I think we're good. You guys, thanks for coming. Remember, you can join the group anytime you want. You can, if you join now, you'll get it 2 months. If you're joining the installment, you'll get 2 months to make that decision. You pay for 1 month, you get 2 months to decide to stay on. If you decide earlier you're going to stay on, you could just continue paying. Remember, the payment is not for the installment. It's not for the access that you're getting, right? You're just getting the access because you decide to join. The faster you pay, the faster you get into the main group where you have lifetime access. Right? You're paying for the course, not for the installment. The installment we just give you because you've started to pay. We give you access so you can, you can don't lose your account. That's the whole point. So you'll get 2 months to make that decision. You like what you see or you don't like what you get, right? Okay, thank you guys, all of you. See you this afternoon. Remember to invite your friend and bring him along so that he will learn something on wave analysis. Whether he uses it or not, that's irrelevant. At least he learned something. So see all of you this afternoon. It will be interesting because we have news again. And who knows, maybe this time again we get another time when it goes. Take care, everybody. Thank you for coming. Bye.